You there, Gary?
I am. Hang on, let me turn the light on. Shut the door and cut the kids out.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. Are you okay?
Yeah, not too bad at all, thank you.
Good, good, good.
Perfect. So for anybody who doesn't know you, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself, kind of what it is you do, and what it is you're here to talk about today?
Yeah, so my name's Gary Dass. I'm a mortgage broker by trade. Started doing that back in 2003. Only started using social media in 2016, but it completely transformed my business. I'm now a coach and mentor to over 100 advisors online. I've got a community of 1,300. I'm running my own summit for the financial services industry in a few weeks. And I'm a social media trainer, personal brand, do lots of videos. So I'm going to be talking tonight about video and personal brand. Just been tweaking a few bits as taking things out and adding things in that Laura didn't cover. So hopefully it should be a little bit different.
That's fine. I'm sure quite a lot of it was a lot of information there. So if you go through it twice, it just reinforces how important it is to be covering that objective off. Have you got any slides or anything prepared, or is it just talking?
No, I can do slides. If that, there you go. How's that?
Perfect. Yeah, I got a couple of slides. Yeah, video and personal brand.
Yeah, just go when you're ready, or
yeah, perfect. Yeah, feel free. You take over control. And yeah,
all good. So yeah, video and personal brand. As we said, just to give you a bit of context, my name's Gary Dass. I started using video only in 2016. Like most people that I seem to speak to, I didn't want to use social media in prior to that because I got fed up of seeing all the woe is me stories and all the people wanting to show off their food all the time. But in the end, I realized that it was a necessary evil and I had to jump online. So in 2019, we raised 132 million in my mortgage brokerage, in finance as well. 100 videos online, which have been seen more than 200,000 times. Not spent anything in terms of paid ads until this year. In the last 12 months, my team's gone from 3 to 13, and we've got 3 that we're going to be recruiting at the end of this COVID variant. So you can do everything organically, providing you do a lot of what Laura told you, and also what I'm going to talk to you about as well. And looking at social media, from Facebook groups, from networking online to putting videos out, everything that we can track directly from social media has resulted since 2016 in £750,000 worth of business. That's also taken me from what was one mortgage brokerage. I launched a book in December of 2017 called The Self-Employed Mortgage Guide, which is on Amazon, audio book as well. That's the use of social media and how we interact with our clients won us Mortgage Strategy's Best Small Broker last year. I've launched additional brands in will writing, insurances. We've got commercial that we're going to be launching in the not too distant future when the new advisors join. And then you've also got my newest brand, which is only 12 months older. For the last 12 months, it's been Mortgage Pro, Mortgage Pro Academy, Mortgage Pro Coach, as I classify myself. And then we've got the podcast, which got to number 2 in business. But actually, we're just now rebranding that to Finance Pro to encompass the whole financial services industry, because what started out as mortgages, I've now got mentees out of my 100 who are insurance advisors, commercial brokers, IFAs, financial coaches, financial planners, and the like. So when you start off in one particular niche, and this is kind of a lesson from social media, when I started in 2016, all I was trying to do was help my clients and answer key questions that they wanted the answer to attract more mortgages. When the book came out in 2017, A Valuable Asset, brokers started seeing my content and asking me for help. That then launched into a community of mortgage advisors that then launched into a podcast and launched into business coaching, training, and mentoring. So if you haven't started this yet, no matter where you are in your journey, as long as you start, that's the hardest part. The first video is always going to be the hardest, but it's like a freight train. The more you do, the easier it gets. And actually, you'll find that over time, you get more confident, and who knows where you could be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time just by trying to serve and help others. So the big thing that's always a challenge with social media is, how the hell do you manage to stay productive and effective? And what does that really mean? Because we can all get distracted by cats on skateboards and anything and everything that gets thrown in front of our faces, because we are in an attention and information world. You know, the social media channels want your attention. People want your attention. But equally, there's so much information out there. So in terms of your judgment for being on social media, you should be looking at building your brand, whether that's your personal brand or your company brand. You should be looking at generating some sort of exposure or reach for you or your business. You know, reach is the number of people that you land in their feed. You know, in my world, for mortgages, it's very much leads, customers, clients, sales, you know, which then leads to some sort of commercial gain or goal. You know, if you want to be a consumer, that's perfectly fine. I like to have a good period of time and, you know, half an hour a day where I just scroll aimlessly on Instagram or Facebook. But there's an element of research that going into that in terms of what content I can potentially produce next for my audience, because in that consumption, it's giving you ideas. Then it's a case of, well, how do I leverage and repurpose the most? Because nobody wants to sit on it all day long. You know, I do a Facebook Live in the morning. I do some engagement in the evening. I probably dib on a couple of times. So I'm probably on social media a couple of hours a day, every day throughout the week. But I've you know, for the last couple of years, I've had a full-time videographer. This year I've taken on, who's now my social media manager. And I've now got a full-time content writer as well. So it's one piece of content from me initiates a whole stream of other content. That means I'm highly efficient. I can produce more. I can spend more time on the ideas side of things. And that's where it's, how do you free up more time to do more social media instead of spending an hour per week? Because the more time you're on it, the more results you will get from it. Like anything in life, the more you put in, the more you will get out. The more you train, the fitter you get. The more you eat, the fatter you get. It's kind of works on the same path. So before we get into personal brand stuff, what is a business brand? Well, a business brand is maybe the colors of your brand. It may be, you know, your logos, what you look like. You can see the congruency. Laura was talking about congruency, the color schemes. It matches in our logos. We've got the triangle, which matches the A, but it's about getting to the peak for us. We help people reach the peak of what they want to get to. We have a methodology within the business that people can go through. You know, we use it consistently with every single client. Affordability, criteria, terms, identify, victory, and entrepreneurial. That is our active method. My brand is Active Mortgages. And that's where you've got the banners that match exactly the same. And you don't have to do all the glossy, you know, banners and subtitles, but if you can do it, you can get it done relatively cheaply on something like People Per Hour or Fiverr or Upwork, where you can outsource certain tasks to experts in those particular areas, and it can get you more results. You know, another example of a business brand is the Mortgage Pro side of things, where that's a business essentially, because it's got a branding, it's got a name and everything. So two brands and people that you've heard of, obviously Virgin and Richard Branson, going through a bit of stick at the moment. But how many jobs does he supply? You know, how much tax does he pay? All of that kind of jazz. And he doesn't even own a full percentage of his companies. But when you look online, Richard Branson's got 29 million across 3 social media channels, compared to 1.55 for, you know, for Virgin. So the power of a personal brand is much, much bigger. You know, you look at other personal brands. The Rock is a massive personal brand. Dwayne Johnson, partnered with Under Armour, sells out the clothes and the gear in no time at all because of his personal brand associating with the business brand. You know, Rob Moore and Progressive, Adam Stott, if anybody knows him in the business circles, and big business events. James Sinclair and his Marsh Farm. You know, they're business and personal brands, but the personal brand generally will make the business brand bigger. So something about personal brands to think about. You want to be able to attract your ideal client. Laura spoke about this quite a lot. She spoke about, you know, knowing who you best want to serve. You want to be able to pull your ideal client to you. And there's a saying that resonates from me from back in 2016, and that's you get what you pitch for. So if you're looking for something specific, you just need to ask for it. If you're looking for a certain type of property deal or a certain type of client, if I talk about 100 grand mortgages, I'm only going to get 100 grand mortgages. If I talk about £1 million mortgages, I'm likely to get £1 million mortgages. Within your personal brand, you're going to not be able to appeal to everybody. You want to attract your ideal client, and the only way you can do that is by repelling everybody else. You don't need to appeal to all people. And this is something that I've conflicted about for a long period of time, because I like to be liked. I want to be liked. I don't want anybody to, I don't want to think that anybody doesn't necessarily like me. But actually, people like you will like you. And it's just about making sure that you appeal to those people that you really want to appeal to. Oh, there you go. People like you will like you. Didn't know that was coming up. So how do you package yourself? That's the key thing. Packaging yourself up to show what you stand for, what you stand against, most importantly. And sometimes working out what you stand for, you just have to think about what you stand against. Wasting time on hold to mortgage lenders, sitting on hold to solicitors, not using your time to most efficiently as you possibly can. Understanding where your strengths and weaknesses are. I've always been a salesman in many respects. So speaking on video, doing social media, speaking to people, building relationships, they're my strengths. But my weaknesses are very much around the paperwork and the administration and occasionally the organization. Bit of a business owner, entrepreneur trait. I love starting things, but I hate finishing them because it's just a case of you get bored very quickly. You want to do new and exciting things all the time. So you have to have the people who support your strengths and your weaknesses. What are your values? What's most important to you in your life? I have 3, which is family, business, and fitness. They are the most important things. They're what make everything superb, and that's why you get up in the morning. What are your traits? What's great about you? What people say is good about you? Why are your friends with you? And you want to make sure that you are the same absolutely everywhere online. They used to say back in the day when I first started social media that on Facebook you had to be more relaxed, and on LinkedIn you had to be more professional. I think those days are gone now. If your brand is to wear a suit, then wear a suit. If your brand is not, then don't. We can all go to a networking event or to a posh hotel dinner and put a suit on, but as long as you know what you're talking about, then be the same absolutely everywhere. I think it makes it easier for you to produce content, and it makes it easier for you to resonate with the people that you want to resonate in the place that you want to resonate, on the channel that you want to resonate with them. And most of the fears that you have won't happen in terms of getting trolled, getting negative comments, being picked up on things that you say. You're always going to make issue. You're always going to say something that's wrong halfway through a live, or you're going to cock something up. I made a bit of a faux pas this week and went against one of my principles, and I got picked up on it. And it's never nice for it to happen when you get some negative comments, but it gives you a lesson. There's some success and some understanding that comes out of, the failures and the feedback that you get. So this little lad, maybe you do or don't know him. He is a YouTuber. His name is Ryan. My kids have been religiously watching him this week and pre this time as well. But last year, or 2018, I think 2019, he made slightly more. 22 million he made online. I think it was 24 million last year. And he's only age 8. He has got a massive personal brand. Yes, influenced by his dad who's in the background there. But it just goes to show that children buy into that because it's him. Then you've also got someone like this, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's getting 975,000 per Instagram post that he puts out. That is insane. Last year, he made 47.8 million from his social media. And the guy doesn't even have a business. But he's able to do that because of the personal brand that he's got to. Now, you don't have to, we're not going to become Cristiano Ronaldo, as much as I probably would have liked to as a child. You're not going to be able to become Ryan because we're all too old now. But it shows the power of people, because people are doing that. They're paying him to post. They're buying his stuff because it's him on the packaging. In the same way that we've probably invested in property companies and trainings as a means to, because of the people that are running them. 3 very, very different personal brands are the Katies. They all stand for something. They all stand against something, love them or hate them. They're very much Marmite. You can't really dislike Katie Piper. But the other 2 are completely different Katies to her. But people either hang on their every word or they don't. And it's just knowing where you fit in. And as I mentioned with regard to values, understanding what's most important to you in your life and sharing it around the world. You know, this is my little lot when we were on holiday last year, but I'm happy to show those pictures. I don't show the children full on, but that's probably the most you've seen of Emily. Generally, you see the backs of them. It's nice to show people that I'm married because my wife hates me putting her out on social media. You've then got the fitness side of things and showing that challenging element of it, and actually looking at, you know, showing that side of you. Because I remember a guy who's one of my clients who was really worried about showing himself in, you know, Speedos as he used to when he was posing for bodybuilding competitions. And he didn't want to put that on social media because he thought it devalued his brand. And I said to him, look, I'm into my fitness and into my health. And I know the dedication, the commitment, the sacrifice that you've had to go through in order to be able to achieve that physique. Plus the balls, not just in his Speedos, but, you know, to be able to stand up on stage in front of people and show that off. Not sure I could do that, no matter how good a shape I was in. But as a result of showing those pictures and putting a couple of them out onto social media and talking about that, he raised about £350,000 to use as JV finance on his investment portfolio. But that's because an investor turned around to him and said, look, you know what tipped it over the iceberg for me? I've seen you post on social media talking about your deals, showing people, educating us on your knowledge, showing you at property courses. But I bought into you because of you, and I know what it takes to become that fit, that healthy. And if you can apply that same dedication into our working relationship and use of my money, then that's why I want to give it to you. So your past experiences can be some of the best in order to get you the results that you want. And then finally, the speaking and the business side of it. I was at Progressive talking about social media on the social media influencer course that I run there. And that's actually, you know, speaking on stage. Back in 2016, I couldn't even sit in a room full of 30 people at a networking event. I spoke about that on my Facebook Live that I did this morning. I was number 28 out of 30. The anxiety, the stress, the sweats, the sweaty back, the hair standing up on the back of my neck, and through going through, you know, doing Facebook Lives and getting more confident in front of people and overcoming that fear, it then enables you to feel more confident to put yourself out there. And when you start to do that, I love this little quote, your vibe attracts your tribe. You know, the way you are is going to appeal to people, and it's going to bring them to you, and they're going to follow you because of you. You know, maybe you're inspirational, maybe you're motivational, maybe you're able to resonate. Well, you're only going to resonate with the people who are most like you. So when it comes to being on a personal brand, your goal is to try and, these are the goals that you want to try and follow. So you want to be able to increase your reach. You want to be able to reach more people. You want to be able to be seen by more people. And a big one with that is consistency. The thing that's really working for me well at the moment that I've made a commitment to do is I go live on my page every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. Some days I really don't want to do it, but the Facebook algorithm rewards you for that. And it knows that you're going to be there, and it sees that consistency, and then it starts showing you to more of your audience. And I'm going to talk to you about the algorithm in a little while. You want to get more followers, more fans, more subscribers, because the sad thing is the bigger your audience, the more results you're going to get. In business, the bigger your database, the more results you're going to get, because it gives you the opportunity to speak to more people. If you speak one-to-one, you've only got one chance of making a sale. If you speak to 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, the more you can do one to many, the more results you're going to get, the more subscribers you get on your podcast, whatever you choose to do. You then want to be able to launch books and podcasts. I'll show you mine later on, but when I built the mortgage broker audience, I was able to get number 2 in business worldwide because of my social media audience, because of the people who supported me. My book got to number 1 in real estate back in 2017. We're going to be relaunching it soon because I've done the audio book now, a painful 7 hours of going through and recording it and reading it, but it enables you to launch those books and those products. That's then going to generate leads, and that's going to attract clients to you, because that's the big thing. You want your clients to come to you. I've done cold calling, I've done door knocking, even going out and going to property networking events, exactly as Laura said. Why travel around the country speaking to 30 people at a property networking event if you can go online and be consistent and speak to hundreds, if not thousands of people from the comfort of your own home? You're forced to do that at the moment, so just get on and do it. And equally, it's going to help build your brand and build your business for the future. Enables you then to sell products and courses and your services. My goal initially was to sell services. Now I utilize it to sell products in coaching and training. You get speaking gigs and opportunities. You know, as Josh said, hopefully I was here because of my social media presence, speaking at podcasts and being invited a lot on those at the moment because of what the content that you put out. So actually, by putting yourself out there more, it enables you to attract more back to you. You start working smarter rather than working harder. You can then potentially get brand or sponsorship deals. Not something I've got yet, but I mentioned around, you know, The Rock or Gary V is another one. He got a deal with K-Swiss trainers and they sold out in absolutely no time at all because of the sponsorship and because his brand. The big one for all you guys in property, Laura's perfect example of it. Many of my clients are perfect examples of it. They use it to raise finance. You can then get your JVs and your partnerships. We've got a client that we partner in JV with. He provides us with the money, we arrange the finance, and then another couple of my clients actually build the properties. So you can do all of this stuff through your social media presence and sharing who you are. And then finally, that's, you know, the end goal is it's going to give you the life you want. It's going to give you the money and the income. It's going to give you the safety and the security and the legacy, whatever you're looking to build it for. But you don't need to do it for hundreds and thousands and millions of people. There's a guy called Kevin Kelly, and he wrote a book. And in that book, he talks about 1,000 true fans. You know, to be a successful creator online, you don't need millions. You don't need hundreds of millions. You don't even need $1 million. But effectively, if you had a true fan who bought every single thing from you, maybe they invest with you several times. You do one deal with one investor and they invest in you again and again. It's then, if you had 1,000 people who gave you £1,000, you've got your £1 million. Yeah, it enables you. You don't need to get loads. And exactly as Laura said, the vanity metrics on social media are insane. You go on Instagram and you look at people who have got 40 to 50,000 followers, and you go on their post and they got 20 likes. It's like, you just bought them. You know, it doesn't do you any favors. And actually that does more harm than good to your social media because people just switch off. They want you to engage. And it's great putting content out there as well, but you need to go back and you need to reply. You need to also do a bit of proactive going out and commenting on other people's posts, because that's going to make you be seen to them, but you're also going to be seen to their friends as well. So it's time to build a personal brand. That's what we're going to focus on. And this word influencer gets bandied around a lot online. It's a bit like the entrepreneur word, but I want to tell you what an influencer is according to Google or wherever I found the example, because it's a perfect one. You know, you want to establish credibility in a specific industry. You want to have a large audience, and that large audience, as we've seen, only needs to be 1,000 people. But you think about 1,000 people standing in front of you. That's a lot of people. We take it for granted sometimes that, you know, you're on your Instagram and you've only got 200 people following you, or you've only got 100 people looking at your stories. If you were to put those 100 people in front of you, you'd be like, Jeepers creepers, these people are actually interested. But then by virtue of your authenticity and your reach, you're able to persuade them to take the next step, to build, you know, you're building authority in their mind, and therefore they're willing to trust you. Know, like, and trust, exactly as Laura said as well. And they're becoming more and more recurrent. So you might want to screenshot this because this is how I utilize social media as a landing page, much like a website. I've updated these images, but it gives you an indication. So everybody's got a banner on their profile. You need to have something on there. Is it a product you're advertising? Is it a service? Is it contact details? You know, the first thing that people see when they land on your website is that top part. Then moving down the left-hand side, you get a little bit of an introduction, a bit of a bio. Talk about what's most important to you. Make sure that underneath that, above the images there, that you've got your pages that you link to, your company that you link to. You've got your following on, because you can have up to 5,000 friends, but you can also have followers as well. So you might have 5,000 friends, but you could have 10,000 people following you. So your profile, the advantage of it is that Facebook sees it as a personal platform. You know, you can talk about anything you want on your profile. You can talk about anything you want on social media, in all honesty. But on your profile, it's a personal thing. We all have to have one to log into Facebook. And when people look at you, they want to see what you're about. But Facebook will show your profile to more people than they will your business page, because on a business page, it's associated with Facebook ads, and Facebook ads is a pay-to-play platform. So Facebook want you to spend money with them in order to show your posts to more people. So I'm a big advocate of using your profile to engage with more people. You'll then see there, you get 9 images that you can utilize. I've got contact details for the business. I've got the podcast. I've got one of me in fitness. I've got me getting my award, a copy of Daniel Priestley with my book, my family. So it's actually an opportunity to show a little bit of what you're about. What's a snapshot of you? And then underneath that, on the left-hand side, you've got some website links that you can utilize as well. You know, YouTube might be one, your website might be another, your personal branded website, if you wanted to do that, if you've got your name. And then next, the same kind of thing, you've got LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is really, really important. You need to make sure that you have got all-star status on LinkedIn. You'll see it here on the bottom right-hand side, just about, because that enables you to rank higher in Google. So you want to put your bio, you've got a short opportunity there to pitch yourself. You need to make sure that your about page, you've got 3 lines there or just over 2 lines to utilize that. So when people land on your page and find you or you're commenting on theirs, you attract their attention straight away. And the same going back with this Facebook profile. Profiles are what majority of people comment into groups with. So you'll use your profile to talk inside any of the property groups that are out there. If someone's interested in your post, they're going to click on your name. They're going to end up here. And you want to make sure that they click that add friend button. So therefore, they can follow you and you can get more of an understanding. So we've done with your LinkedIn. And this is an example of LinkedIn. So I did a Google search, and I would recommend you all do this. It's a good bit of fun as well. But go on incognito on your phones or on your laptops and go on Google and put in your name and see what comes up. Because you want to make sure that if you're in incognito, it means that it's not going to look at your normal search history, but it's going to enable you to see what you've got. And you'll generally find a few funny things in the search. But you want to make sure that you've got enough content out there that dominates it. So then if someone searches your name, because what's the first thing you all do? If someone's applying to me for a job, or if I'm looking at doing business with somebody, or maybe a JV partner is looking to see who you are and understand a little bit more about you, they're going to go on Facebook and put your name in. They're going to go on LinkedIn, they're going to put your name in, Instagram and put your name in, and Google and put your name in. So you need to make sure, and you'll see, I think it's right at the bottom there. What's that? Number 5 is your LinkedIn profile, right at the bottom. So, you know, the article of us winning the awards that I did in there, the website is my website and the company website are the top 3. So I'd recommend as well, you'll see right at the top there is my company, is my name as garydass.com. I've got my kids' names.com, I've got my wife's name.com. Don't know if I'll need them yet, but it's a good idea to make sure that you have them on there. So videos, the key thing. Here's your lesson with regard to the algorithm and how it works. So you post on social media. Thank you very much. Well done for doing a post. Social media then only shows it to 3 to 10% of your audience because it wants to make sure that it's good. Once it then knows that it's shown it to 3 to 10%, the unfortunate thing is no one liked it. The post was rubbish. Nobody liked it. Nobody commented. And then therefore it starts to go down. Facebook or Instagram or wherever shows it to less people. They don't like it. So therefore you don't get any growth at all in your social media channels. So let's take the second option. You do a nice post, it gets shown to 3 to 10% of your audience, and they do like it. Woohoo! Our friends are actually our friends. And just as a word of warning, if you post on social media for long enough, your friends and your family will be the last people to comment on anything. You start creating a new online friend who starts being your fans and starts commenting and liking on your stuff. And when you call your friends out on it, they just meh. I see you all the time on social media. I don't need to speak to you anymore. But when you show it to, when you do post and 3 to 10% of your audience do like it, the difficulty is the good thing is it starts showing it to more people. It starts showing it to their friends. So you post, your friend likes it, wicked. We're going to show it to their friends as well now, and we're going to show it to more of your audience. But no one else engages with it. It stops there. So the reach is reduced and your page doesn't grow. So let's have a look at the third scenario, which is the scenario we're all fighting for. You've posted, It's been seen by 3 to 10% of your audience. Your friends and everyone on your profile and your page like it. They start showing it to more people, and they do like it, and they do engage, and they do share it. So then you start to grow because you're starting to get more following, and then you feel more comfortable to post again. And that is effectively how social media works. You need to try and hit that first 3 to 10% to get the engagement, but also it's really important. What can help this, they comment, and is actually by them commenting, you need to go and comment back. There's now a bit of a thing in terms of when you post, you need to allow 15, 20 minutes, the first hour after that initial post over here on the top left is the most important, because that enables that 3 to 10% for them to like it, you to then comment, and it gives it a little kick and a little boost. So it starts getting shown to more people. So what do you need to do video? Because that's, in my opinion, when you post, if you're shown to 3 to 10% of people, you're more inclined to like a video. Is stats prove it, because you can see the whites of somebody's eyes, you can hear them, you can see them, you can get a little bit more of a clearer picture in terms of what they're about. Now, there's obviously 4 different ways that people like to absorb content. Some people like to watch it, some people like to listen to it, some people like to read it, and some people like to do stuff, fill things out, you know. So I prefer video because you can create everything else out of it, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But we don't need to overcomplicate the equipment. I had all the sexy cameras, as you saw right at the very beginning, where we had all the banners and all the stuff and the backdrop and the desk and everything. Now, this is all I've got. A £25 stand off of Amazon, a lav mic. This is called a Joby stand, a Joby stand. I've got a lav mic, an LAV mic. That is £10. And just to prove, there's one, there's the other in my drawer, in my desk. Use them all the time. They both live in my bag wherever I go. And if you want some lighting, you can look at lighting. There's ring lights as well that you can get on Amazon. We have those in the office because we're in an old derelict office and the lighting's pretty bad. But in here, I'm sitting right opposite the window in front of me here, so I haven't had to use anything yet. Garden's got a little bit of south-facing sun, so generally we can do decent lighting. It's one of the main things you want to look for, which in actual fact, there you go. How about I actually do that? The sun sits right in my face when we're first doing it, but it's now gone behind the house in front, so we're all good. So that's all you need. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. That's all you basically need. If you've got a phone, you can grab your phone right now, hold it in front of your face like that, and off you go, do a video. Job done. 2 minutes, perfect. So content marketing. I want to talk to you a little bit about content marketing. No automation on this slide. So we do it properly. That's the main thing. It's got to be done properly. You've got to make sure that you make it worthy of your time. Exactly as Laura was saying, you want to have an intention or a reason to be doing your post. You want to put yourself out there enough. The more you can do it, the better it's going to be. You know, you can inspire, you can motivate, you can educate people. If you can do all 3, then you've hit a bit of a secret sauce, shall we say. The more you give, the more you receive. I've always played the card of giving loads and loads of value. I love doing free content. I don't do much in terms of call to action. I just educate people, try and inspire them, tell them there's a better way, talk to them about mortgages, talk to them about building their business, generating leads online, how to build their brokerage. That then builds goodwill and trust. Then when they know that the right time is for them, you know, the value is there, they come to me rather than me having to go to them, because you almost imagine by giving value online, you're building a value pot. And when they deem that that pot is valuable enough, then who else are they going to go to? There's a if you do a Google called ZMOT, Zero Moment of Truth, ZMOT. This talks about, Google did a study in terms of the buying habits of people online, and they went back and they researched, and it's a bit like shopping with my missus. You know, she goes and looks at dresses and then ends up going, we spend 4 hours walking around and then we end up going for the first one that she chose. But generally what you'll find is that people, from the research that Google did, they will spend, in their buying choice, they will spend 7 hours engaging in content with one company or the place where they're thinking about getting it or doing it. They want 11 different touch points. Oh, that's not 7 hours, 7, 11, 4. That's written wrong. Sorry, apologies. So it'll be 7 hours of content, 11 different touch points. So that can be a social media post. That could be an website, that could be an ebook, that could be a video, different touch points in the sales process, and that would be in 4 different locations. So technically it wouldn't be 7 hours of content with 11 different things only on Facebook. They would want it to be on the database, on a PDF. They want to build up this pot. People want assistance making a buying decision. They want to know that they can know, like, and trust you. If you do a piece of content that you're not happy with, the worst thing you can do is just delete it and do it again. The number of times I do a Facebook Live in the morning and I start it 3 or 4 times because I don't like my intro. I realise that the lighting's really rubbish. I stumble my words straight away because I haven't got into the flow of it. You just stop it, you just delete it. As one of my mentors, Rob Moore, says, every master was once a disaster. We all have to start somewhere. My first videos are not as good as they were now. As I said, I didn't like even talking at networking meetings, but you get better over time. And if you do it right, you do get the fast track results. That's the key thing. It's just about resonating with your audience. So how can you do it better? How can you do it right to get more results? So tell your audience that you're going to be going live or posting on your video. As I've told my audience, they know I'm online at 8 o'clock in the morning. The more times I post what I'm doing, if I do a post tonight and say tomorrow I'm going at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm talking about this. That will drive more people over to my page. I can tag the page in, but then more people will come and see it. You've got 3 seconds online to capture somebody's attention. Think about your scrolling habits. The headline is what's going to hook them in. So you need to make sure that it's something that's catchy, something that's going to make them want to stop, read, listen, whatever it ultimately is. I always love some scripts and some bullet points, making sure that I can stay on track. I love going off on tangents. I carry little pads like this everywhere with me with little bullet points and notes on it. I write them up and just have those to hand to make sure that you're going in one direction. Make sure that you're looking at the camera lens and imagine you're talking to one person. Often when you're doing video, you have a habit of looking at yourself. And actually in looking at yourself, the difficulty is you go a little bit boss-eyed and you look a little bit weird. Whereas actually when you look fully down the lens at somebody and you imagine you're only talking to one person, your phone is a person, it resonates and lands so much better. And when I started doing social media back in January of 2016, started off as 1 post a day. And it went to 2 posts a day. And it went to 3 posts a day. By April, I was able to do pre-recorded videos. And it took me ages to build up the courage. I used to imagine, I had my administrator hold the phone. And I just used to look straight over the top of it into her eyes and kind of talk to her. Didn't watch any of the first ones. But the key thing was just to get it done and get it out there. And then started doing video in April, and I didn't go live until around about September, October. So if you're not doing anything at all in relation to social media at the moment, you will gain more confidence and you will feel better about doing it as time goes on. The best thing as well is make sure that you landscape. So this way and sit in the center of it, unless you're going to have something on the side. Sitting over this side, it doesn't look as well. It doesn't frame as well. If you want to repurpose it, you want to make sure that you're sat in the center as much as you possibly can. You want it ideally at eye line. You don't want it sort of down here looking up at double chins or up here kind of looking down or even up your nose. You want to make sure that it's kind of in your eye level because it looks much better. It's like talking to somebody. It's easier when you're all sat at the same level or talking at the same level. I've never done any editing. I've always had a video editor, or I've always used People Per Hour or one of the Upwork or one of those sites. But things that you can utilize for editing, my editing guy uses Premiere Pro, but you've got iMovie on your phone, you've got Windows Media Player. There's a good way in which you can cut out some of your ums or the different things that you might do, or if you need to stop, take a breath, go again. You lose your trail of thought, you can cut those little bits out and it's not too noticeable. The main thing is getting your content out there. Do change it up. Just because it was something different to do, I think a couple of days ago, I literally went outside my house, sat on my drive, in my car, and just did one in there. Plus the 3 kids were being so noisy that I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be disturbed. And I just went and sat in the car, but changing the background up, changing the location, the pattern interrupt, as they call it, will make people stop in their feed to want to come and watch you. So that can be a really good thing to do. Changing the time. Different audiences are on at different times. If you're looking to sell Now, if you're constantly doing 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't test in the evening, you're never going to be getting new people into your world. So it's good to mix things up and try different times. And in terms of building confidence for video, 15 seconds is an Instagram story. You can practice on there. My challenge to myself after I started doing live video in November of 2016, I did 30 lives for 30 days to build my confidence. Then we've got Facebook. 2 minutes, 9 minutes for a live or pre-record is ideal. You can go on your Facebook page. I only do lives, but you want a good short text or image with content, works really, really well on your Facebook page. LinkedIn, 2 to 3 minutes work best for me rather than 10-minute videos. If I do a 9-minute video, 10 minutes is the maximum, but 2 to 3 minute videos seem to work best. Instagram is still only 1 minute. IGTV, you can do up to 10 minutes. Instagram Live, I haven't started using it yet. There's talk that you should do it at least once per week as a means to get some live content onto Instagram. I just haven't started as yet, but I probably will do. TikTok, Laura mentioned, definitely in this coronavirus, you're seeing more and more people coming on, more celebrities coming on. It's a video editor, it's a video platform. It takes me about 45 minutes to edit a video on there. As I say, I don't generally do that. I'm not particularly technical in that sense. And the problem is, I could have done another couple of lives on, another channel in the time that it takes me to do that. But it's definitely growing if you do like utilizing it. And I like showing this slide because these are 3 of my mentees in mortgages. And the reason why I like showing it is because people often ask me, why do I train mortgage advisors how to do what I've done for the last, 4 or 5 years? And the reason is because we're all different people. You might be sitting there thinking, oh, but I see someone else do this video title, or I've seen Laura talk about this on a video, or Camilla talk about this, or Joshua talk about this. And the difference is, we've had some great speakers on today, but you are you, and you will resonate with the people you will resonate. And you could do the same title, you could have the same headline, you could do the same content, but you look different, you sound different, you act different, you'll speak different, and you'll resonate with different people. And it's just a good thing that I like to show people, because people like you will like you. Now, I teach in my mortgage advisors about customer attention and sales. Laura covered it off perfectly in the sense of you need to know who you're talking to in your niche and your ideal. Perhaps you want to target people for serviced accommodation, buy to let, or whatever it might well be. So you need to understand the pains and the problems of your customer. Then that enables you to get the attention of that person much, much easier, which then enables you to make sales. So the biggest part of the market, we all seem to talk to this action section down the bottom, but the biggest part is this awareness section. And I realized this back in 2016. So I spoke to this section. And then what happens is that cold market starts getting warmer because they get closer to the point where they want to take some action and they get a bit of interest in terms of what you're doing. Then they're willing to be hot because they're now in, oh, I'm going to make a decision now. Who shall I use? Who shall I go with? And then they start getting to, right, I'm going to buy the product, or I'm going to spend my money, or I'm investing in it. And the problem is, what worked really well for me in 2016 was now 2019, 2020, I've been able to grow my team massively because of the awareness that I had to speak to everybody in the awareness phase. So it grew. It's grown over time, and therefore I've got more leads that I can service more people with. So it's all about playing the long game. If you only ever talk to the action takers now, you're pitching to the smallest part of the market, because people who are looking to buy or invest, they might be waiting for money to come in 3, 6, 9, 12 months. So the customers are in the awareness phase, the attention are in the interest phase, and it's about putting the right content out there. And then the sales is part of the decision. And Laura spoke perfectly about lead magnets. That's the main reason I do it. On my Active Mortgage website, we've got the 7 mistakes that business owners and entrepreneurs make when buying and investing in property. You download that from the website. That then takes you through the email sequence, as Laura said. You're then on the database. We can then continue to build a relationship with you through social media and on our own channels. Because the big thing is as well, while all your clients, customers, and inquiries are on social media, they're not yours. Your Facebook page could be shut, your group could be shut. You need to get them off of social and onto your own personal platforms. And then that's going to bring your leads to you. Now, for anyone that's interested in repurposing, the beauty of a video, you can take one piece of video and you can turn it into all these different tips. 15-minute video goes on YouTube, best 10 minutes goes on LinkedIn, rev.com, you want to write that down, you send a video to them, they send back the written word of everything that you've done, full transcription. You can use it for blogs, you can turn it into social media posts, you can make 3 1-minute videos out of your 15 minutes, because you're down to have some quotes and good content in there. And then you can create 4 quotes. So you imagine all of a sudden from doing one 15-minute video in a week, you've got your whole week's worth of content, 2 posts a day on every channel. And that's where you can utilize. I've got Jack, who's my social media manager and does this for me. And here's an example of what he does, but you can get this on People Per Hour or Upwork or Fiverr or any of those. So I did a video, which was a live YouTube video, 10 reasons why I coach. And then Jack broke them down into the 10 1-minute videos for each and every single one. 3 different types of content you can do. You can educate, you can inspire, you can motivate people to take some form of action with you. So just a bit of reason behind videos. 73% of consumers are influenced by social media. So recommendations on social media are better than any others. 85% of users enjoy video. 87% of marketers use it. 88% spend more time on a website if it's got a video. 8 out of 10 have purchased after watching a video. Internet users spend nearly 7 hours on a video, and it's only getting bigger. By 2022, 80% of global internet traffic will be from video. And I didn't just make it up. You know, they are the mobile statistics that are coming around. Laura gave some great insights in terms of putting content out there. There's many different models you can follow. There's one where you can do a story as one piece of content. You can do a video as another piece of content. You do a case study as another piece of content. You've got a call to action and buy my stuff or invest with me, or I'm looking for this deal as another piece. That's 4 pieces. You're pitching only 1 in 4. You know, Gary V talks about jab, 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 right hook. Value, 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 ask. That's one method. Another method you can do is 50% talking about your market and your business, educating, inspiring, helping people. 30% you can talk to you about you and building rapport, because people want to know you, they want to trust you. 10% in pitching, and 10% asking questions, engaging, debating, talking about, you know, I did a really good one yesterday, which worked well on my page, which was just saying, you know, out of a score of 1 to 10, how are you feeling around this coronavirus and this environment of being at home now? Loads of people have engaged with that and given it a score and given it a reason. It's just a good engagement post, which also helps the algorithm because it's playing the score, playing a trick on it. Some ideas for producing content, particularly in property circles. You know, this is what I did. I went around to this property and here's 3 things that I learned. You've got some tips that you could do, 3 tips, 9 tricks to buying and investing in property, 7 ways to raise finance, 5 quick tools that you can use to calculate a deal, 3 things I've learned from doing blah, 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 3 fastest ways to raise finance. You know, there is a reason why they're all odd numbers, and weirdly the statistics prove that people seem to like that. Stand up for what you believe in. I don't believe in people buying leads, so I constantly talk about, you know, you don't need to buy leads. You should be doing content marketing, putting yourself out there, playing the long game. Strongly believe that and talk about it all the time. I'm known for it. What everyone's had enough of, Brexit, the royal wedding. You know, they were 2 things that really got on my nerves. That's really good engagement posting. It really good at showing and building a personal brand. That's also a form of newsjacking as well. Looking at what people are talking about, what's trending. You know, very much trending at the moment is obviously the whole Corona and COVID environment that we're in. It's unheard of, but the press are just depressing us all and showing only the negativity. They're not showing any of the positivity that are coming out of it. You know, the amount of people that are helping the NHS, like Joshua and this is the stuff that should be shown. The amount of people that are doing it to try and inspire and help everybody. Motivating everybody. That's why I go live in the morning just after I've done my workout. Causing some debate is going to get you a little bit of backlash, but it's often a good one for the algorithms. What you've done a 180 on, something that you've learned and changed your decision on, it shows authenticity. It builds know, like, and trust that you're willing to change your viewpoints. One of my biggest mistakes in business was I did no marketing from 2006 till 2016. Absolutely zero. Biggest mistake I ever made. I'd urge it. I'm so passionate now about content marketing and free marketing via social media. One of the best things when you've been doing it long enough is you can repurpose your old memories. You get memories that come up on every channel. You can just repurpose them and talk about them, but they also remind you of, you know, how far you've come. Wishing people a happy birthday. It's a good one on Facebook to do, to keep the algorithm there, to put yourself in the front of people who you haven't necessarily seen. Wish people congratulations in their new job or their new role on LinkedIn is another good one. And start seeing every video as an asset, because you're in the asset building game anyway. So you might as well make sure that you've got them out there, because you never know, someone could be sitting there now watching one of my videos on YouTube, and it could be the same for you. You need to make sure that you've got them out there so that people can see you even when you're not producing them. And that's the best place to, best and easiest and quickest way to do it. But also appreciate that most people sit in this watching phase down here. Before they start sharing, before they comment, it's very few that actually start producing content. 90% of people still sit in the watching phase. Lurking, we've all been a lurker. If I was in an audience, if I had an audience in front of me now, I'd be asking you to put your hands up and seeing who the lurkers are. We've all done it. There's always been times where we haven't liked and commented, but generally the more you like and comment, the more people who will like and comment back to you. So take advantage of that. Last couple of slides. Post a little bit more is going to get you more results. Ask people to follow you on other platforms is a good way to move them across. Ask people in your videos. They don't like it on written posts now, but if you do it in videos and say, look, can you do me a favor? Could you like this? Could you like this post if you enjoyed the content? Could you, you know, if you can ask a question, or you could say, look, if you think I could help one person, please share this with them. You could do competitions and give away a dinner, or, you know, give away free reports, or utilize those as a means to get people onto your database. First 10 minutes, give them the promise of what is going to come. So if you're doing something in terms of a long video, tell them what's going to get, tell them what they're going to get out at the end, tell them why they should stay online. There's an argument for doing long videos and there's an argument for doing short. If you do a 2-minute video, you won't get many people watching you live, but you might get lots of people watching you later. Whereas if you do a long video for, say, 45 minutes or an hour, you might get loads of people watching you live, but you won't get the watch later, because people look and go, oh, 45 minutes? I haven't got 45 minutes. But they might watch and go, I've got 2 minutes. So there's an argument for doing both. There is no right or wrong. You have to test yourself and see what works for you on your channels. Document your journey. Laura said this one massively. Just taking people with you in terms of where you're going and what you're doing. Facebook groups, great way to build momentum and to make new connections of people who are just like you. Build your movement, build your tribe, give things away, lead magnets, ebooks, downloadables, get them onto your database so you can then start marketing to them. But consistency is the big, big thing. It's the number one thing that you need to do to make sure. There's no point in doing, you know, one video this week and none next week. Do one video every week. Minimum standard of performance, and stick to it. And then who knows what can happen thereafter. You know, I never envisaged that I would have a community of 1,300 mortgage advisors that's in my community and in my group, where I help and inspire those. I never imagined that I'd have the podcast that got to number 2 in business last year. And I never imagined that I would have 100 online mortgage advisors who I now coach and mentor. And that's not how I started out. I just see the problems that my clients have, both in a mortgage world, but also now as mortgage advisors in building their business, having been self-employed since 2006. And I'm just a problem solver. I love it. So the quote I always like to finish on is, you'll see it's the Mortgage Pro Academy. Now is the time for you to become pro, because perseverance leads to results, which creates opportunity. I hope that's given you something to think about. Joshua, I am done. Really appreciate you allowing me the time, and what a great cause to be doing it for. NHS, we all need to do as much as we possibly can to help people on the front line. And thank you very much indeed for giving me an hour of everybody's time on your Friday
No,
evening.
absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much for giving the time up. You know, everyone's found that super useful. We've got a couple of quick questions we'll try and run through quickly. Which one was it? So we've got somebody they've got 7,000 connections on LinkedIn.
Nice.
And basically they're not getting any value from that at the moment. You know, what's the best way to kind of monetize those followers and start building those relationships that are going to pay off?
So the good thing with LinkedIn is kind of a little caveat on this as well. The one thing that's really good about LinkedIn is you can add 15 people every day in your chosen job title. It's a great way to build an audience. So I just add 15 mortgage advisors every day. But then we've worked out for me, posting first thing in the morning, once every day, an engaging piece of content, written works better, and just being consistent with it. Causing debate, asking questions, getting people to comment, and just being consistent with it. It takes time with LinkedIn. People seem to like money. They seem to like wealth. They seem to like cars. You know, things that are a little bit controversial seem to go really well on LinkedIn. There's plenty of people that you can watch and sort of take a bit of modeling from, but it comes back to consistency and finding the time that your audience are online as well.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. LinkedIn is one of those ones where you take your eye off it for 2 weeks, and then you do a couple of posts and you get nothing. It's really kind of, you have to be on that every single day.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got, so in terms of podcasts, how does somebody go about starting their first podcast?
Okay, so I'm quite lucky because I've got Jack who's technical, but I literally have done all of mine with my phone and with my lav mic into voice notes. I WhatsApp them to them, and then he uploads the file to, we use a system called Libsyn, Libsyn, and you can upload it to that, and then it puts it across all of the podcast channels. There's another one called Omni Studio that you could utilize. If you're using Zoom, when you record on Zoom, even if you're just doing it to yourself, you actually get a video file and an audio file, so you can upload that audio file onto one of those channels. But there's also another app called Anchor, which is completely used for kind of, it's almost like the idiot's version of building a podcast. And trust me, if I didn't have Jack, I would be using it. But you can literally talk into your phone and it uploads it straight away, job done. So Anchor might be a good solution if you don't want to pay a podcast agency to run it, or look on People Per Hour and see if you can find a podcast editor.
Yeah, perfect. You know, it's been really helpful. You know, all of the stuff that you said, it honestly, it works. You know, I've read your book. Whenever I'll need a mortgage, Gary's the person we're going to, simply because, you know, we've got those touch points. So anyone who's looking for a mortgage, definitely get his book. Is any kind of, anywhere else people can contact you or find more information and follow you? What's the best place for people to get in touch?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate that as well for reading the book. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to, you can contact with me on social media. My name and recommendation there for anybody who's setting up social media channels: secure your name. Try and get everything the same on all of them. So I'm just literally at Gary Das everywhere. If you go to my website, then you can, the active.mortgage is all it is. There's no .co.uk or anything like that. If you put active mortgage into Google, you can then get the 7 mistakes as a download. You can get our brochure as a download. You can find the book from there. Or obviously you can find my Gary Das site and come and connect with me there. Or the podcast is The Mortgage Pro. And the ironic thing is I did it to help my mortgage brokers build their businesses. So I've not actually talked about mortgages once. It's all about business, mindset, marketing, vision, values, mission, the whole lot. So welcome to jump on that as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, once again, really appreciate you putting your time towards this. Everyone's learned a lot. I have as well. I've definitely got some notes down. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it.
Perfect. I'll speak to you soon.
Having me on, and well done with what you're trying to do over the next few days. I hope it all goes really well.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. All the best. Cheers, people.